right, we've got to talk about the Nazca mummies, guys. This is awesome. I love it. The Nazca mummies are going mainstream. This is amazing, and there's more to talk about as well. So get in here. This is Jack with Cosmic Road. It's time for a Nazca mummy news update. So like and subscribe, and let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Yeah, but check this out. This is from the Daily Mail. U.S. Congress to investigate controversial Peru alien mummies amid fears they could be linked to UFOs. Yeah, and it talks about Representative Tim Burchett talking to Jaime Maussan and pledging to help in getting some American universities or scientists involved in the investigation of the mummies. And yeah, the Daily Star is not the only one covering this. This is from the New York Sun. New York Sun also covering this awesome story. Yeah, Tim Burchett getting involved as you know, at least gotten several newspapers to cover this very important topic. So we'll see what Tim does. Now, they are not necessarily reporting on this accurately, unfortunately. You know, it says Congress set to probe Peru alien mummies. Well, you know, we don't know if Congress is actually getting involved. We know that one congressman is getting involved. But yeah, that's not the end of it. Check this out. You know, so many ads on this one. But when I go over to the other view, you'll see that it's the wrong headline. But that's actually not what the article is about, right? It has nothing to do with teachers quitting their jobs. But yeah, this is from the Daily Mail. The case of Peru's mysterious alien mummies continues to deepen with new footage depicting 3 more apparent creatures, including a severed alien skull. Of course, they're just linking to this video that we've already seen. You know, there's the newest video with the newest mummies. But I love that mainstream media is covering the Nazca mummies. They're talking about fingerprints. They're talking about Tim Burchett. They're talking about the unveiling of these new mummies. You know, they are starting to get all over the mummies, you know, from different aspects. And that's just incredible, guys. It's incredible. We are making huge strides. Let's see, but there is an update here about the DNA analysis of Maria. Well, because I went over that the other day from Dr. Rangel's paper that he released, or his report that he released. Half of it was from his team's own investigation into the DNA, and half of it was from a Canadian researcher and her investigation into the DNA. Well, she took to Reddit, and she had this to say. My name is Elena Hardy, aka Verbal Kant on Reddit. I am a data scientist and bioinformatician. And as I've talked before, bioinformatics, that's what is needed to examine sequences of DNA. So last year, a collaborator and I examined the sequencing run results that were published on the NCBI SRA and published this work as a document entitled Mummies the World. Mummies the Word, a genomic look at Peruvian mummies. We conducted this research using standard bioinformatics techniques like responsible scientists, even though we were not publishing for peer review. We followed the format of a scientific paper, including a detailed method section and supplemental materials that contained all of our scripts. This way, the work could be checked and reproduced by other experienced researchers. At the time, I was not interested in a peer-reviewed paper. I was more interested in getting the information out there so that the broader community realizes that they too can do this research. She goes on to talk about her interactions with Dr. Rangel and his team, and she says that he included her portion, her analysis in his paper without her knowledge. She says, over the weekend, I was made aware that he had copied and pasted our entire Mummies the Word document in his preliminary report, such that about half of his report, in particular pages 13 to 24, and including the original references in supplemental material links, was made of our work. At no point did Dr. Rangel contact me to let me know he was going to do this, nor did I give him permission. I want to be clear that our work in Part 2 of Dr. Rangel's report does not support his claims in Part 1 or the addendum. Yeah, and so what she's saying doesn't affect my reporting on this at all because I didn't cover, the first portion of the paper, Dr. Rangel's own research, with all due respect. I only covered her, but I did cover the addendum, and that's the part where the word hybrid or hybridization is used. And she says she did not write that. That was from him. I thought it was weird when I read it to you guys that the word hybridization was only in the addendum and nowhere else in her paper, in the Canadian portion of the paper. So that's the reason, is that she never used that word. And she wouldn't. She's a Western scientist, and they're not going to jump to that conclusion. They're not going to make that leap. They're just going to present the facts and say, we need more study and we need more data. I'm married to a Western scientist. I know how they work, and that's how they are, and maybe that's how they should be. They shouldn't be speculative. They should only report the facts and just draw the most supportable of conclusions from that. Now, I have heard that Dr. Rangel has apologized publicly about this. I've been looking for that apology, and I would read it to you if I could find it, but I can't find it. So if you've seen that, let me know where it is. But either way, it looks like he has replied or responded publicly to Elena Hardy and apologized for misrepresenting her work. My own public response was pretty much what I've said to you. That's too bad. When I did my video on the paper, I only went over the Canadian portion of it, but I did include a brief discussion of the addendum. I thought it was strange that hybridization was used since the Canadian team, party, hadn't talked of hybridization before. I wouldn't expect a mainstream Western scientist to make that leap. I'm married to one, and that's not what they do. That said, Dr. Rangel is right. That is the natural and obvious conclusion. They are clearly hybrids and products of genetic tinkering. I did a second video yesterday, this was a few days ago, talking about what I think the DNA results imply. And of course, I'm talking about the connection to the abducting race or races. I think the connection is pretty clear. Implants, hybridization, genetic tinkering, they look like grays. And of course, now we have the Chinese DNA connection. So I think there's a big connection with the abducting race or races, and that they were Nazca beings were likely made by them or by whoever made them. But yeah, I also concluded with, anyway, I hope this doesn't cause any future researchers to be reluctant to study the mummies. We need more hands on deck. And indeed, we do. So there you go. We've got mainstream media stepping up in a big way to cover the Nazca mummies. They've been covering it in at least 3 different ways, or at least 3 different angles. The fingerprints, that really galvanized them. This new video has gotten at least one article out of it. And Tim Burchett coming forward to advocate for the Nazca mummies has also lit a fire under others. So I love that mainstream media is covering this. But in the negative column, we have the unfortunate situation with Elena Hardy in her research being included in Dr. Rangel's paper without her permission. So that's unfortunate. Hopefully, that wound will be healed and we can move forward and we can get more and more Western scientists on board to study the Nazca mummies. I would love it if some more DNA, some really good quality DNA could be extracted that's not too degraded. I don't know how that would be possible. I mean, these mummies have been fairly well preserved in dry conditions with diatomaceous earth. So, is it likely that we could find some more recent specimens? Well, they seem to be running around still today, potentially. So maybe there are more recent specimens and we can get more fresher DNA somewhere. But either way, I would love more DNA analysis done, and I would love more Western scientists and Western media to step up and get involved. We need to study these beings. We need to understand them, their relationship to us, what they were doing back in the day. Are they still around? How are they connected to the abducting race, if they are? Who are these guys? We need answers, guys. We need answers. We need to secure this site. It would be awesome if we could understand their DNA. And very, very importantly, this is UFO disclosure, guys. You can't get the Nazca mummies without the involvement of non-humans. The Silurian hypothesis, maybe some ancient reptilian beings or whatever could have created them, but there's no fossil record or any other indication that such a race existed. So, I'm ruling that out for the moment. Time travelers, yeah, you could never rule out time travel, obviously possible. Human civilizations like Atlantis, could they have built these mummies, 7,000 to 2,000 years ago? Again, that seems unlikely that they would have hung around waiting wherever they're waiting, in underground caverns or cities or wherever they are, if they're around, just to come out and create these beings. So I don't think there's any real logical way you can get the Nazca mummies without the involvement of NHI. I mean, they are NHI, but even more further out, beings must have been involved in their creation. Beings capable of extremely complicated genetic engineering, using the same sort of implants, or at least analogous to the same sort of implants used in abductees. Beings that, like Chinese DNA, as we've seen and I've reported on in previous anomalous encounters. This is UFO disclosure, guys, and I love that the media is now getting on board. Let me know what you guys think about it all in the comments below. And if you've enjoyed this video, please give me a big thumbs up. I sure appreciate it. Smash the like button, the subscribe button, and the bell to be notified of future videos. You don't want to miss a thing. Join me on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Facebook links below. Love to see you guys there. If you want to support Cosmic Road in a bigger way, consider grabbing a coffee mug or a t-shirt in the merch store below, or by becoming a channel member, because channel members are rock stars, and I really appreciate you guys' support. Thank you. Meanwhile, there's plenty of other videos on the channel, and I'll see you guys next time. This is Jack with Cosmic Road, signing out.